is an important discussion around the role that compassion plays in the Black experience. But although we're here on during Black History Month and having a conversation about the Black experience, I'm going to ask you all to pause for just a moment and look around this room because as I reflect on who I see in this room, um, I am I'm proud to see what I believe is an incredible reflection of our country. We have an incredible diverse panel here that will sit before you who are all African American but are incredibly diverse, and you'll hear about them shortly. But this room is a reflection of, I believe, the galvanizing power of this center. Muhammad Ali, who he was, what he represented, and his ability to speak and resonate to all people. And we recognize that as one of our superpowers here at the Muhammad Ali Center. And we've been very intentional about leaning into that work. And so today, as we begin, before we begin this panel discussion, we want to share some information with you to help you understand why compassion is the topic for today and the topic that you will see connected to the Muhammad Ali Center for the foreseeable future. Last month in New York City, January, right around the time of Muhammad's birthday, we launched what we call the Muhammad Ali Index. And that index is a one-of-a-kind approach to measuring, tracking, and celebrating compassion in America. You hear a lot of people talk about compassion, but we here at the Muhammad Ali Center took a much different approach to addressing compassion. We wanted to take a scientific approach to remove the warm and fuzzy feeling that often is attached with the word compassion that makes it this less than, I would say, powerful message that often slips between the cracks as we talk about how to truly make change in our world. But this was a scientific approach. And the science behind it we'll explain here in just a moment, but it was our attempt to make sure that we led a conversation in this country that moved us beyond the back and forth rhetoric that often finds us embedded in our respective camps and unwilling or unable to hear one another. We believe that we had the ability to elevate the conversation by investing some resources that allowed us to measure and track compassion, share trends around compassion, predict compassion trends for the future, and make recommendations for communities to begin to build more compassionate agendas. And so we've spent a good number of months and maybe years, even before I began here at the Muhammad Ali Center, doing this work in earnest to prepare ourselves for a launch of data that will ultimately play a significant role in how the Muhammad Ali Center is identified in the future. How we show up, how you see us, how you experience us in the future will be surrounded by this notion, this idea, this work about compassion. And so we're going to spend some time here in just a few minutes introducing you to our panelists and digging into a conversation around the role that compassion has played in the Black experience in the past, how we are dealing with it in the present, and how it can shape our future moving forward. And I'm thrilled that we have some incredibly enlightened panelists who are going to help us dig into that topic today. But before we do that, I want you guys to spend just a little while learning more about our Compassion Index that will start with a video, and then you'll hear more about that from our Senior Vice President of Operations, Aaron Herbert. All right.
Let me talk first, and then we'll show the video after. All right. We'll show the video after. How you all doing this morning? Nice to see you. I don't like standing behind a podium, so I'm going to move over here. If I haven't had the pleasure to meet you, my name is Erin Herbert, and as Vaughn said, I oversee our operations teams here at the Ollie Center, and I was a proud part of this incredible body of work that is now known as the Muhammad Ali Index. A little history to the index. Many, many years ago, a great friend of the center, a woman named Farah Pandith, who was a lifelong diplomat. She worked for the State Department. Under Barack Obama's administration, her title was something like Special Envoy to the Muslim World. And as part of her role, she traveled all over the globe and she talked to young people of different generations, and asked them, is there an American you look up to? Is there an American that you admire? And she said universally, no matter where she traveled, no matter how old the person was that she talked to, the answer was Muhammad Ali. Incredibly. And those of us who've been at the center for a while know that. If you've had the pleasure of traveling around the world, you wear a Muhammad Ali t-shirt, you're going to have a conversation with someone that you've never met before, right? Because of the power of his legacy, of his universal appeal, of the common human values that he carried throughout his life. So Farah approached us as she was leaving the State Department, retiring from that world, and said, I'd really like to be a part of your mission of carrying forth Muhammad's legacy. And she became a great thought leader on the project that eventually became the Muhammad Ali Index. After years of consideration and research and deciding how we were going to move and how we were going to do something big to continue Muhammad's legacy throughout the world, we landed on the idea of creating